I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My roll call.
Patrick. Here. Farnham.
Here.
Helsley.
Here.
Voigt.
Here.
Zuber.
Here.
Bruner. Here. Jennings.
Here. Here.
What?
Has everybody read the minutes of the October 6th and October 8th special meeting and regular meeting? Are there any additions or corrections? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve them.
So moved.
Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the October 6th and October 8th meetings. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Claims against the county. Are there any questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve them. Don't know.
I move we approve them. Sorry, sir. Second. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims to the county. All those in favor? Usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. County board member claims.
So moved. Seconded.
We have a motion and a second to approve county board member claims. All those in favor, usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Public comment.
Good morning, my name is Robert Vogt. I'm an Edgar County resident. I'm going to begin with congratulations to the Edgar County Watchdogs for the work that they do in cleaning up government corruption and for the latest recognition they received in Forbes magazine. This past Monday I spoke before the county board during a study session. In that session I outlined the reports and information I've uncovered regarding Jerry Griffin, the present Edgar County Airport manager. I alleged the airport manager, Jerry Griffin, has been flying airplanes with passengers as pilot in command without the FAA required medical. Therefore, he's not legally flying the aircraft. This is in addition to the misrepresentations or outright lies he's told, depending on your point of view of his application, his resume, and to those around him. So today I bring additional concerns to your attention regarding Jerry Griffin, his truthfulness, the airport, its operation, and the continuing deceptions of those involved. Let me start with the latest crash. An airplane did crash at Edgar County Airport, and it sustained so much damage that will likely never be flown again. At this moment, no one that I visited with is completely willing to come forward with all of the details. It seems our past manager, Dale Barkley, claims he only learned of this crash last week. By his response, he now has and admits to knowledge of this event. Your present airport manager, Jerry Griffin, when questioned this past Monday night after the Airport Advisory Board meeting, stated he'd been aware of this for months, that it happened in June and that it happened during Dale Barkley's tenure as manager. Now then, the month of June is an interesting time when this is alleged to have happened, since this aircraft was reported to have been flown on the 4th of July, and that Jerry Griffin has intimate knowledge of that flight. In providing information on the month of the crash, he admits knowledge of this event, but he isn't clear on which date in June this occurred. He isn't clear on who the pilot in command was or the number of occupants in the aircraft, if there were injuries, or even if this was a training mission. He does not state if he was in the aircraft providing instruction or not. He isn't clear on how it happened, but he did mention that it ran off the runway, struck some lights, and that is all he knew. Other reports contradict how this event actually happened and when it happened. Jerry is now admitting knowledge of the crash. Gentlemen, if you believe your airport secretary, your groundskeeper, your airport deputies, your airport managers, all of the members on the Airport Advisory Board, and all the members of the Airport Committee, and all those presently flying aircraft at this airport and using this airport have no information on this event, you're absolutely wrong. How do you think and how do you believe this information surfaced? Airport property is reported to have been damaged. A plane may have been destroyed. There may have been injuries and liability has been incurred by the county. Events such as this are required to be reported to the FAA. This event should have been reported to the owners of the airport, the Edgar County taxpayers. It has not. Those participating in this cover-up, and one in particular with a keen interest in hiding this crash information, may be none other than Jerry Griffin, your airport manager. The extended liability for this event carries forward. That is, if it's possible to repair this plane. If that is even possible, shouldn't the new shouldn't the new owner of this airplane know if this new plane was totaled and then repaired? What if, God forbid, hidden damage created another crash, and it's found that the Edgar County officials and the Edgar County was complicit in hiding crash information? Then there is concern with the county's insurance carrier's interest in the event. Do they know about this? Did this owner have the county named as additionally insured, and who was the owner? The biggest questions are, why are we lying and why are we covering up the accident? Gentlemen, it's time to tell the truth, to operate openly with honesty and integrity. It's time to grow up and hold everyone equally responsible for their actions. Griffin needs fired and to leave our airport so things can improve for the betterment of the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? If not, we'll move to item 8, highway resolutions. Resolution 1, authorizing county board chairman to sign BLR 24310, unit price agreement FAS 678, County Highway 1, Helan's Dip, Section 11-00106-00-SP project HSIP 0678108. Aaron?
The unit price for the Helan's Day Labor Project.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll have a roll call.
Patrick?
Yes.
Farnum?
Yes.
Helsley?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Zuber?
Yes.
Brunner?
Yes.
Motion carried. Resolution 2, resolution authorizing county board chairman to sign BLR 05511, local agency and consultant agreement with Hillard Bookkeeping Service to appropriate motor fuel tax funds for the period of 1/1/15 to 12/31/15 for various construction guidance and documentation.
Steve Hillard's works out there helping us with all of our federal construction projects, and he is a consultant, and we have to get a motor fuel tax agreement in place in order to pay him. It's a various agreement for 2 out of 5 days for the calendar 15 year. So,
I'll make that motion.
First. Second.
Second.
We'll have a roll call.
Patrick?
Yes.
Farnum?
Yes.
Helsley?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Zuber?
Yes.
Brunner?
Yes.
Resolution carries. Resolution number 3, resolution for the improvement of the BLR 09110 appropriating motor fuel tax for the following: County Highway 3, Scotland Road, Section 12-00112-01-DR.
we just, we have finished, just haven't finalized the OORS, and on the tail of that project, the Scotland Road, we're gonna ask the board to approve an 01 DR improvement on that roadway for bridges that, for ditches that routinely flood and overtop the road.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the resolution. We'll have a roll call.
Patrick?
Yes.
Farnum?
Yes.
Helsley?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Zuber?
Yes.
Brunner?
Yes.
Resolution carried. Number 9, approve annual budget and appropriations and levy for fiscal period beginning December 1, 2014 and ending November 30th, 2015.
Mr. Chairman, the document that I hold here has been on display since yesterday.
Monday.
Monday. I'm sorry, since Monday, 2 days ago. What we have before us is a document that is a balanced budget for the general fund, and will pay down debt of $170,000, and will also show a $3,265 figure of revenue over expenditures. The committee has met, thank goodness, most of the time we've had just about the whole board there, so we've been working on this for several months. We've gotten the help of every department and elected official, and we want to thank them. Want to thank Augie's and Don's office for all the help that they've given us. Next, we also have the levy to be passed. The levy is for various departments and agencies, and it represents a 4.63% increase of all funds over last year. It also represents a $320,000 levy for the special services area ambulance, or one ambulance service. And I would like to go ahead and make a motion. We approve it today, and then we adopt it at the next meeting in 2 weeks. So I'd like to move for the approval of the budget and appropriation ordinance and levy ordinance at this time.
I'd second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the appropriation levy for fiscal period beginning December 1, 2014 and ending November 30th, 2015. All those in favor by the usual sign?
Well, excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
That's a resolution.
Okay.
Is the adoption a resolution, or is the approval a resolution?
You have them both as resolutions.
That's
Very
fine.
good. I
Well-
amend my, to make it a resolution, approval of the
Okay.
resolution. Okay.
We'll have a roll call vote for resolutions.
Sir. Patrick?
Yes.
Farnum?
Yes.
Helsley?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Zuber?
Yes.
And Brunner?
Yes.
Resolution passes. Item 10 is a resolution authorizing transfer of $15,000 from the clerk's court automation fund to the county general fund.
Mr. Chairman, this represents, every year, like I said, we negotiate and work out how we fund the various departments with each department head. Last year, we met with the circuit clerk, and based upon their needs, agreed upon the next both 10 and 11, which reimburse the county for actual expenditures that we incur and they can pay for out of funds that they have available. This has been passed through the chief judge and has been signed off on. So I would move its the approval of the resolution for $15,000, number 10.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Pass the resolution of $15,000 from the clerk's automation fund. We'll have a roll call.
Patrick?
Yes.
Farnum?
Yes.
Helsley?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Zuber?
Yes.
Brunner?
Yes.
Item 11 is a resolution authorizing the transfer of $15,000 from a circle clerk's document storage fund to the county general fund.
I move that resolution for the following description that I gave them for the last one. Second.
A roll call.
Patrick?
Yes.
Farnum?
Yes.
Helsley?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Zuber?
Yes.
Brunner?
Yes.
Resolution passed. Number 12, we have a resolution authorizing the transfer of $7,000 from the dog fund to the county general fund.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. For basically the same things, we expend money throughout the year for the dog fund and for number 13, the animal rabies. And then this reimburses us at the end of the year. This is housekeeping. Therefore, I move the resolution to transfer $7,000 from the dog fund.
We have a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Roll call, yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Farnum?
Yes.
Helsley?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Zuber?
Yes.
Brunner?
Yes.
Item 13 is a resolution authorizing the transfer of $17,000 from the Animal Rabies Fund to County General Fund.
I move this resolution also for the same reasons.
It says 7 on the thing.
You got the wrong resolution.
You got the old one.
You got the old one.
Michael,
I changed it.
I'm sorry.
that's okay. Point of clarification, when you had your emergency and you had to get out,
Yeah.
you missed the post.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No,
I should get credit for seeing that.
Thank you, thank you for reading your board packet.
Okay. Thanks. I never read anything, remember?
We have
I had a motion, who seconded it?
a
Second.
All right, now roll call.
roll call.
Patrick?
Yes.
Farnum?
Yes.
Helsley?
Yes.
Voigt?
yes.
Zuber?
Yes.
And Bruner? Yes.
Item 14, a resolution authorizing the transfer of $55,000 from the Farm Fund to the County General Fund.
Again, Mr. Chairman, this is a year-end housekeeping. These funds are generated by the airport in farmland rental, lease rental, et cetera. And at the end of the year, we transfer these funds into the general fund. All those, I move the resolution, sir.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to authorize transfer of $55,000 from the Farm Fund to the County General Fund. We'll have a roll call.
Patrick?
Yes.
Farnum?
Yes.
Helsley?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Zuber?
Yes.
Bruner?
Item 15 is a resolution establishing Edgar County Enterprise Zone.
Mr. Chairman, if I may add a little bit to that. What we're looking at is here an ordinance for Edgar County Enterprise Zone. This is something that I think is a good view from the standpoint of the city and county working together. The chairman and I were at a meeting, and what they're doing, what an enterprise zone basically is tries to provide some state and local incentives to promote the economic growth of the area. And it tries to reduce unemployment, encourage expansion, rehabilitation, and also new construction of infrastructure within the enterprise zone. One of the things that we thought was kind of a neat deal about this, it wasn't just the city. They came out and they offered support up and down through Chrisman, through Kansas, Coshocton Grain, our county airport all has possibilities now, and we're kind of all set up by a 3-foot corridor that goes every place. And there's also some room for expansion if something decides to go up a little bit off of this 3-foot line also. It's not on here, and it'll probably come up within the next month or so. They haven't asked us for it, but in general, you know, we've already discussed about the idea that we'd probably be putting about $2,500 toward this. And part of that is the city's putting in a ton in the 20,000 range, and NAL is also putting in at least that much too. So it's business, industry, and I think all the governments, because you know it does. We are obliged to some have property tax abatement. It's over a 10-year time frame. Starts out kind of at 100%, and then so long as all their companies or who's ever starting this keep up with what they've been asked to do, it goes down in the 7th year to 80, 8th year to 60, 9th year to 40, and finally the 10th year down to 20%. So of the abatement. Long-winded story, but that's a little bit about it. If anybody else has questions.
Also, we have no guarantee of that will be, the state only picks, what was it, 13, I think they said,
It's
enterprise
a
zone.
very limited number, but you know, it's like anything else, you have to put your name in the hat, or you have to have a chance at getting it, and this is trying to put the name in the hat. So, Paul Ruff would probably be much better at knowing the ins and outs of this than I would, but if you have questions, feel free to ask, and we'll direct you to the right people.
Are you gonna, the chairman gonna appoint a board off of the county board or a committee off the county board to oversee that or be involved with the city, or is there a representative? Is it you or?
The only reason I did it, because chairman asked me to do it, no, because I'm on the subdivisions or whatever, stuff like this, and this may be a different impact.
Okay.
But with the number of other meetings I have, if somebody else wants to volunteer to go to these, that's all right also. But, I think.
I believe, in answer to your question, if this ever comes to fruition, there will be somebody appointed from ours to be on a board that is headed by the city of Paris, because
I just,
Yeah. And really, like Ben was saying earlier, it's really the state has this little committee that's the all-powerful committee that decides if this happens or not anyway. So,
There's, on this committee from state, there's one person from Cook County, and there's one person from the outskirt counties, and then there's one person from downstate
which
that
makes
gets to
South
make
High
these
80.
decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will County probably.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna cost us anything, is it?
About $2,500 probably, being part of the program.
Okay.
Just apply, basically.
It's kind of our part to kick in.
Do we have a motion?
I would make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. A resolution establishing Edgar County Enterprise Zone. We'll have a roll call.
Patrick,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Helsley,
Yes.
Voight,
Yeah.
Zuber,
Yes.
Yes.
and Bruner.
Yes.
Item 16, appoint Eric Shaughnessy to Emergency Telephone System Board.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we table that for the present time till we can have some further discussion.
Is there a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second to table item 16.
Is this, can I ask, is this something to do with legalities or what are we waiting for on this? Because I didn't know anything about that.
Possible conflict of interest, and the state's attorney is looking into it. He wants to do some further checking and talk with some other people, and talk with Mr. Shaughnessy and talk with the 911 chairman, I think.
Okay.
Get some clarification on some things. Yes.
Do we have a motion?
You have
Call motion,
Yeah.
please.
All those in favor of tabling item 16, the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item 17, office and department head reports. Don.
Your report in front of you, normal information on there. I've added some notes at the bottom. I came in yesterday morning when no one else was around to do the final distribution because it involves a lot more of entries in the software system. Those are your numbers to the penny of what we're going to be getting, hitting our bank account sometime early next week. Also, there'll be a transfer of penalties and fees collected. That's by statute. That the county gets all those penalties and fees. It basically says since we are providing the services and I was getting ready to say manpower, the person power, the people power, so to speak, that's why we are able to just, the general fund gets that money. As far as the collections, we are at, of the original taxes extended back in June by the county clerk's office, we collected 99.75%. So we're once again right there where we are. We had our tax sale end of last month. 132 parcels went through the tax sale, meaning the taxes were sold, someone else paid them, and now the property owners will have to redeem them at the county clerk's office. The 132 is down from last year. The lowest I've seen in the 8 years I've been here is right around 125. So once again, it falls within the range of what we normally see go through a tax sale. I don't know of anything else other than we will be doing anything that was approved today on the transfers. That will be, once we receive certified copies of the resolutions, we will do the bookkeeping on that so that by the next board meeting, those numbers will be reflected along with the penalties and stuff that I'll be transferring in from the tax fund. I don't know of anything else. Are there any questions?
Don, did you want to mention under the general fund at the very top, it shows 613,487. At this time last year, we were one payroll behind. So if you add in an extra payroll, it's fairly close to
Right.
cash flow.
That was a question I had on the Fund 100 status that we got Monday. There'll be one more payroll.
Yeah, that status you got Monday did not, Pam was still doing payroll that, at that time when
So
that
it'll be
report was
one
run.
payroll or two?
Two.
Two.
This is the,
Yeah.
this is as of today. They dumped another payroll on, so
So this one has
has one
this
more.
week's payroll, and then there'll be one more.
One more, yes.
And now that you've mentioned it, I would encourage all department heads to get all their collections in, fees and stuff, because our last business day of the month is Wednesday, the 26th. That's kind of odd. I shouldn't say maybe odd, but it's an inconvenience at times. It's nice to have a business day like on a Monday so you can clean things up, but we're gonna have to do this midweek and get everything cleaned up. So please don't come in at 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon and say you want something receipted in, because you'll probably see some sparks come from my ears. Do it as late as, let's say, mid-morning Wednesday at the latest. At the latest, I'd rather see it Tuesday. Other than that,
Don, do we have any big amounts of money coming in that you know of yet before the end of this fiscal year?
other than if the state were to come through, we've already gotten the sales tax and motor fuel and stuff for this month. There's still a possibility to get a strong possibility to get another payment of income tax, local use tax, maybe personal property tax, maybe a reimbursement for state's attorney.
It all adds up to about $250,000.
If that all comes in, that's what we were talking about yesterday, but that.
Some of it's come in, okay, and I'm sorry, I got here late, so there's a lot of things on the new sheet that if you want to look at it, it'll show.
I was just curious where.
It's 10 here, 15 here, and 25 here, a couple of 50s. You know, it's not big money, but it all adds up, like Edgar Dirksen said.
I haven't projected what I think what it's gonna be, but Jeff, I think he does more of that number crunching as far as projecting, so he might be able to tell you sometime what he anticipates. But we do have a lot of, after these transfers happen, that's gonna be a real strong shot in the arm, besides whatever we get from the state. I always say this, remember, this is all based on cash flow. We just don't know if something shows up on our mailbox on the 29th of November. I'm sorry, it doesn't go in until December, because it wasn't there by the last business day.
So over 5 years, then you have an ebb and a flow.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things, so. Okay, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Anything from the highway department? Probation,
I have nothing to report, thank you.
circuit clerk,
Nothing, sir.
ESDA,
We will be having an exercise planning meeting, November 19th at 9 a.m. To start planning for the 2015 exercise. Other than that,
you sending out reminders on that?
it's not an actual meeting, like when all participants, it's just the people who help in the planning process, like the key players and things like that, so. But yes, we have.
Ambulance service? HRC,
Our annual meeting will be on November 24th at 3 p.m. at WT's Court. Everyone's invited, the public's invited. It'll start with some snacks and social time at 2:15. Good way to find more about what's going on with HRC over the last year, and we encourage you to come out if you can. Also, I'm pleased to report that there's been a lot of good cooperation with the agencies throughout the county for what's now known as the Be Well Coalition. This is in response to some data where we felt there were some things we need to focus on in the county to improve the health and wellness. And so we've been meeting at the hospital, and we've had business and industry, health department, representative hospital, HRC, extension. It's a great collaboration, just got started. All volunteers working on this. Our next meeting is at 8 a.m. at the Paris Community Hospital. If there's other interested parties that'd like to see what's going on. But we're hopeful that we can have an education campaign, get word out about how to improve the health and wellness of the county.
Thank you. Airport?
Jeff kind of asked me to talk about, we had October 27th, a meeting over in Springfield with the Illinois Division of Transportation and Division of Aeronautics. Over at that meeting, we had Jerry Griffin, the airport manager, Dale Barkley, and myself, Jim Shiner, from the advisory board attended, and Barry Stoltz from Hanson Engineering, the engineering firm that works at the airport, was also there. In addition to that, we had John Kraft from Watchdogs and Rob Bogue attended. There were several IDOT Division Aeronautics individuals there, including Susan Shea, who's the head of the IDOT Division Aeronautics. We also had a member of the FAA from Chicago Divisional Office on the phone for a short while. And what this meeting was called the TIPS meeting. And TIPS is Transportation Improvement Program Meetings. The purpose is to, as I understood it, was for the IDOT Division of Aeronautics to explain changes and information regarding the program, as well as get feedback from the individual airport groups and what their needs and wants are. Some of the things that we learned at this meeting is that our last safety inspection at the airport was scored as good. And as a related note, we do have to set back farm operations a little further from the runways. You guys may be aware of that, you may not. But this has been established since the fall harvest, and we lose about 100 acres of farm ground, which then also increases our mowing burden. So we have to mow a little more. There's also a pavement scoring system where somebody goes around every so often and audits the pavement. And the minimum score is 70 on the pavement, and this is evaluated in sections throughout. Their score for us was all fine except for some areas on the taxiway were below 70. That's where they're confined. Hanson Engineering also has that in our long-range plan for the airport, which is required that if you have a score below 70, it be in that plan. Also, the advisory board and the airport manager and the employees there are working to ensure that they don't become worse in the interim. And with that, I'll take volunteers when we're ready to do the work out there to kind of fix some of that if anybody wants to volunteer. Tarmac expansion project, sorry, but all I can report at this time is that all work has been stopped. Hanson Engineering is working on modifying the proposal and the justification. Talking to them this morning, they believe that it should be ready in the near future, but then it'll go to the IDOT and FAA to review and figure out if it proceeds or not. During the meeting, we were asked if there were any projects that would be on our wish list and what the opportunity for state improvement money were to, if it became available. This would be non-aviation dollars, so this is nothing that's linked to grant assurances with the FAA or such, but just Illinois, if they had extra money, said we're going to disperse this out. And what we agreed is that the south area of the parking lot is kind of gravelly and in bad shape, so we said if there's money like that outside of that that could be allocated to that, we would appreciate it for that. Outside of the TIPS meeting, the advisory board has focused on maintenance concerns at the airport, and I think that's probably where our priority should be. The T-hanger post rotting is kind of the top of our list, and we have been working with some contractors to get some quotes and figure out the best way to go about fixing those and shoring those up so that the hangers don't fall in. There's a drain between the two T-hanger buildings. We have a safety cone out there right now, but we're trying to figure out the best way to fix that. It may be 2 steps as a Band-Aid and then a longer term fix, but the fear is that somebody would run a nose wheel over that and damage a tire. As I mentioned, the taxiway cracks, as of now, they are in our long-range plan, but we're trying to figure out a way to get a work group out there with some of the equipment at the airport and such to make some temporary repairs so that they don't get worse. The other one is gutters on the main building are coming loose. We do have a quote, and I did not get to attend the advisory board meeting Monday, but I believe that the board agrees that this should be done. And I think we need to look at making that happen probably before winter and the freeze and thaws that come. That's my report for the airport.
Thank you.
What about the credit card instrument so they can, use credit cards to pay for gas? Would that be something on the wish list, or is that on the grant?
It would be in the grant, and that's the problem, is it's kind of tied up. Jerry got a quote from somebody the other day, which I think is exorbitant, and surely there's a way to do that for less money if we have to. But I think for now, let's wait and see. If the justification comes through, great. If it doesn't, then we'll have to figure out. I mean, my personal feeling is we've been this long without it, a few more months won't kill us.
One question, talking to Jerry, he said at the TIPS meeting, he understood that someone brought up that there's on the runway or the taxiway, you know, all the cracks, that there's additional money for that. Did you?
Yes, that's in here in your,
The long range?
long range plan. I think it's like 2016 or
Okay.
2016 rehab partial parallel taxway.
I thought maybe if it was a bad situation, the way he explained it, there's money now that could be done.
Yeah, but I don't think we need money now to do that. We've got a pallet full of crack filler. We've got the equipment to melt it, and I've offered my personal equipment that can apply it. So we just, maybe need some hands. So come out and help if you want.
They'll come take care of 100 cows while I'm up.
Sure. I like cows.
They could stump it in the,
Yeah.
But no, we're just trying to avoid costs.
Right.
Do that, and in long range, we may need to get some more permanent repairs as that fits, but our fear is that wait until 2016, and the way this goes, it'll probably be 2017 before anything would get done, and that's a long ways off to have those cracks freeze and thaw. But we do have the materials, everything already on hand at the airport. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
County Clerk.
We had an election on November the 4th, and congratulations to all those who won. And I would like to, first of all, thank everybody that helped make that election a success. Primarily all those who volunteered to help us on election day and night. All of our election judges. The election could not happen without the election judges, so we appreciate all those people. We always get a good group of high school students for student judges. They work out excellent. We appreciate the high school for lending those kids to us. And last but certainly not least, my staff, job well done. You just never know how things are going to go on election day as the day progresses, but that evening everything went absolutely perfect. And so I want to thank my staff and our election vendor, which is Liberty Systems. They do a great job, and we're very fortunate to have them on board with us. As far as numbers, I don't have obviously all the expenses in yet and compiled, but I will get that to you by the next meeting or so. I can tell you that we have approximately 15 outstanding absentee ballots, and we have until Tuesday the 18th is when we are to canvass the votes. So we have to wait until we have a conclusive number for all the totals. So we'll see what that brings, and if those ballots have been postmarked by Monday the 3rd of November, then we'll count those. If they were postmarked after that, by law, we're not allowed to count those. So we'll canvass the vote on the 18th or thereafter, and we'll put that election to rest. I think that's it.
Thank you.
I just want to point in that also just being up here and being around it, I thought everything looked nice, looked smooth. It was good to see the whole staff of operation. Terry's probably about ready to pull her hair out, but after that month, I only heard good comments about the way we could go in and vote ahead of time. process, all that, so sometimes I think we need to hear that. And also the online part. A lot of people, I said they really like it's through Liberty. Through that site.
Yes.
You know what, they have questions, they ask me like, do we have a way to go back in past elections that Liberty has handled for us? That's not on their site, that we can go back and pick up like the last 2 elections off of that you know of, is there, or something, however long they've been handling it? Or is that just for this?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking that there is a way to do that, but off the top of my head, I can't tell you.
And the other thing they asked about that was if there was a way that they could see individual precincts, kind of like that we put up down here on the board. Does Liberty provide a link maybe to where online they could see individual precincts? I don't know.
That's a good question, and the answer to that is yes, but that doesn't get processed until after the canvass of the votes on the 18th.
I got the answers.
You got your answer.
The
Yeah.
other, I mean, it was great.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
That was
Mike?
about the fastest return that I can remember. Is that correct? I mean, you had totals and decisions really quick on this one. Yeah, lots of times you don't even need to get up there until 9:30, you know.
Well, we were basically done by 9 o'clock, weren't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very thankful.
It's kind of nice you kept Dan in suspense about how.
Yeah, I was last one to have a vote, so, for an hour or something. I had one vote somewhere.
Like, go to the-
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not speaking for the assessment officer, but I do know that whenever we have, and you might, I don't know, be aware of this, the Board of Review's makeup is determined by the highest vote getter in a contested race.
Mhm.
So I just know that right now we have 2 Republicans, 1 Democrat, but now that Jeff is the biggest vote getter, there will have to be something done there to change the makeup of the Board of Review. Like I said, I'm not speaking for Bev, I'm just putting a bug in your ear so that it's not a surprise. Thank you.
While that subject's up, is there any information on how we're coming along on a new assessor?
Yes.
Break the pause.
After you, we're going to be addressing that at the very first part of December. The committee's gonna meet, look at the qualifications, and make a recommendation to the board for the meeting in December.
You've got some qualified candidates, I take it.
We have at least one.
Okay.
And will you let us know when that committee meeting is, too, just, I mean, not that you're part of
Yes.
it, just so everybody has an option to.
So everybody can be there that wants to be, absolutely.
Item 18, committee reports. Mike, you want to start with him?
I don't have anything at this time.
Alan?
Just a follow-up from Monday on our insurance, our workman's comp is being bid out. Tentative insurance proposals are due on November 25th. That's when the opening will take place. This comes into effect for January 1st. Property and casualty is December 1, and then we're in just a review of the 3-year cycle for that right now. And for the most part, hopefully we'll, in our December 10th meeting, we'll be able to make that decision on who is our workman's comp.
Will you send out a reminder on that? Thank you. On the 25th?
Yes.
Thank
Or
you.
maybe our faithful clerk, excuse me, our county clerk can do that.
Anything else? Thank you. Andy?
I talked to Carl, we're gonna try to set up a date to go around and look at some of the buildings. And I know that, just look at some of the structural problems and some of them, and hopefully maybe by next meeting we'll have something.
Thank you. Anything else? Dan?
We had to cancel the meeting on Monday for, we didn't have enough people there. I talked to Andrew Dental Shelter, everything's running well, we do have our cameras up. We're overstocked with dogs, if anybody needs to adopt a pit bull, we'd be glad to take your information. I think the roof at the county health department building has been repaired. We have a meeting next Wednesday morning. We also have a vacancy on the committee, because of Dale Inglis. So I have not heard any names being submitted yet, but we'll work on that next Wednesday. So other than that, I think everything's running well.
Thank you. Jeff?
We pretty well talked about the finances. Basically, it looks like we're gonna be a little under $4 million is what we're gonna spend, and our income is gonna be somewhere around $4,150,000 roughly. So that's where we're at there. We had a meeting with the state's attorney on several issues. We need to have a closed session on pending litigation and personnel after we get done here. We also talked about some of our FOIA issues, and more specifically about the FOIA issue regarding bank receipts and so forth on CDs. And basically the hearing officer sent it back to us and said we need to relook at things. We need to, what they said, it appears that we could have done a better job in looking for information. And to that end, we discussed that with Joe and the state's attorney and came up with a plan. They're gonna kind of tear through the office there. Not only do we have to look, then we have to say why, if we can't find anything, did we do a good enough job? We kind of have to justify it to this hearing officer. And the plans are, at the direction with Joe and Mark working together, we should be able to do that, okay? And for the time being, I also mentioned will be the assessor will be dealt with the first week of the month, and we'll go from there. Is there any questions of me?
Mike,
Mike?
Oh, no.
No, it's fine.
I think we talked about that on Monday, but you had an emergency, you had to leave, so.
I did. Propane was 3 times.
Thank you. Carl?
Monday, we had a brief, short meeting, 911 meeting. And from that meeting, the sheriff-elect was there. It was basically decided that shortly after the first week that the sheriff-elect takes over, the 911 coordinator is going to, plan is to move back down to the jail, and they're going to work together on the dispatching. And at the present time, we're going to leave, we talked about 911 board taking over the dispatching, and we're going to give it a few months time, let them work together, give Jeff some chance to understand, see how things work, and then we'll address that at some point next year. But it sounds like, there's going to be cooperation and communication and for public safety, get things improved. So,
It also sounds like,
good, I'm done.
that we have at the present time a radio problem. Nanette and some of her technicians that she's worked with think we might be able to resolve this for $2,000 with software and some adjustment. The sheriff-elect that's his #1 concern right now, is that the radio system we have doesn't work. But we're going to, according to him and Nanette, we're going to see if we can get that resolved with a small adjustment that, like I said, would cost less than $2,000. And if that doesn't work, then we as a board are probably going to have to look at that. That is a very, very important thing. Officer safety is involved. Another thing we may have to look at is we've got a stack of laptop computers that have been sitting down there for a while that were donated. This is all news to me just last month, that they were donated by an insurance company. And as of January 1st, the deputies are no longer going to be able to submit a paper accident report. The process is going to be, they have to do it from a computer. And rather than write everything down on a piece of paper, take it into the office and do it, most agencies do it right from the car. At the scene, they actually hook up a camera to the computer and take pictures, and then they submit everything to the DOT like they're supposed to with paper, and it's faster, cleaner, and more efficient. So we may, I'm not sure, I don't know anything about money yet on this. It's not super expensive, but there's a charge. We're gonna be charged probably to put those computers in the cars,
And a monthly fee.
and a monthly fee for each car that's got the computers. But-
So they're gonna have to be online, or is that something they can do, bring back and download?
Well, it'll go right through the air. It's
Is that something the state, you're saying you don't know whether they're picking that up, because that is a cost. That is a true cost.
we're gonna pay a fee. I've heard everything from something like $22 a month per unit.
Per unit.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's not exorbitant, but what it does, it just uses cellular, and it just sends it in.
Do they have to be trained to use the laptops? and-
Yeah, well, basically, if they've got leads training, it'll work for them, and it's like an 8-hour day to, but the nice thing about it is, they can run their own 1028s, they can run their own criminal background checks to a certain extent, right from the car. And, you know, they'll let a dispatcher know, hey, I've got a traffic stop at the Lower Terre Haute Road, but, you know, Andy Patrick, they'll run his driver's license and they'll see if he's got any criminal history and all that kind of stuff, right from the car. They don't even have to do it from the jail. And obviously, that's been in most departments, bigger departments, state police, they've all got that. We're just kind of catching up. But it's gonna be mandatory. There'll be no longer will they be able to fill out a piece of paper like Carl and I did for years, and nobody could read and send it in. And now it'll all be typed, and it'll be neat, and fill in the blank, and it's a lot better idea. And officer safety, there's no doubt in my mind that this has to happen for officer safety. It just has to. We couldn't justify somebody getting hurt because we didn't want to fork over the money to putting them in the cars that we already have. I mean, if we had to buy these things, I remember the first round where they were $6,000 or $7,000 that the ISP put in a piece. I mean, now they're next to, I don't know what, they're free. So.
Anything else?
Sorry.
You got anything else, Carl?
No.
Okay, at this time I'd entertain a motion for a closed session.
Mr. Chairman, I gotta find my sheet of paper here. I move that we go into closed session to discuss employment, performance of employees in pending litigation. Everybody okay with that?
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Mr. Clerk, would you like the camera off?
Please turn it off, thank you. We are now.
We're back in session. Is there anything else to come before this meeting?
I move we adjourn.
Have a second?
Yes.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.